What is going on YouTube? It is freezing outside. You can see my breath. It's maybe 35 degrees, 30, I don't know. But we're out here again. As you guys seen on our last video, we got the cylinder heads off the truck. So this is gonna be part 2, putting her back together. So let's get to it. Hopefully we can get it done before it gets too dark. It looks like it might be snowing later, so we'll see what happens. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so first thing we're gonna do here to get started is we gotta take these damn old head gaskets off. They come right off. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean these surfaces up. You clean them up with whatever you want. I just take a razor, I scrape all the old shit off of there and call it a day. So get them as clean as you can. You got to take all this coolant out of these cylinders, wipe everything down, spray it with brake clean, make sure it's real clean, and we'll get it prepped for our new head gasket. Alright, so you guys might have noticed that I ran the head bolt down into the head and ran it back out. And the reason of that is because sometimes when you pull these heads off, you get coolant down inside of these holes. So what you don't want is this bolt to tighten on down on top of that coolant, because that has happened before and that cylinder head doesn't tighten down completely. So what I do is I run the bolt down each hole and run it out, and that gets all the water out. And then usually you take an air compressor and blow it out afterwards as well, and then clean it off one more time. So that was the reason to doing that. Alright guys, so we're going to come back here and we're going to do the exact same thing to our cylinder head like we did to the block. You take a couple razors, you scrape it until you get all the crap off. With these cylinder heads though, you want to be a little more careful, because these are aluminum, so they will scratch if you go real hard and real deep on them. But I mean, you don't got to be a sissy about it either. I mean, you can scrape them pretty good and you'll start getting most of the crap off of there. So usually while I'm at it here, I'll do the exhaust ports and also the valve cover and the intake all at the same time. So this head will be clean once I'm done here. So I'll get to that. Alright guys, so just kind of a quick comparison here. So this is what you're going to want your cylinder head to look like once you're done. See, nice and smooth surfaces here on the intakes, and you got your head gasket surface nice and clean too, and all smooth. And I also did the exhaust side here too. Just got to wipe it down a little bit more, but that one looks clean as well. So that's your before there. See, you got all these big chunks and stuff here. You got a crap load of oil on that side, and there's your after. So I know what a lot of you guys are gonna say, he whiz-willed it, and yes I did. I used that little buffer pad there, and guys, I've used that thing 100 times. I've never had a problem, I've never had a comeback. So for all you guys that are gonna say, oh, he scratched the head, that head's ruined, I'm gonna put that cylinder head on that truck, I guarantee you it's gonna run. So, and I bet you those head gaskets will last just as long as any other one. Let's get back to it. I'm going to clean that cylinder head. I'm going to clean the other side of the block, and then I'll show you guys how to torque it down. Alright, so we got our surface all cleaned up. We got our new head gasket on there. It says front on there, so make sure you got that pointing towards the front of the motor. And I'm going to put the new cylinder, or the clean cylinder head on there. Bang, nailed it. Put one of these little 10 millimeters in there for right now, just to hold it. So you just want to lightly put that one in there so it holds the head in place, just so it doesn't fall down or move or anything like that. In the meantime, we're gonna prep these head bolts here. So what you got to do is you got to put a little bit of oil around the head and a little bit of oil on the bottom of the threads here. Alright guys, so remember, we had all the long bolts, doesn't matter where they go, except for this front one here and that back one there. Those two are the short bolts. So we're just going to drop those right in there. And what we did to these was we put a little bit of oil around the head and a little bit of oil on the bottom of the threads there. Alright guys, so now you go and you grab your handy dandy torque wrench, and we got to torque this cylinder head. So there's a specific sequence you torque cylinder heads in. This one here I will put up on the camera somewhere, but this one's pretty simple. You got 10 big bolts and you got 5 little ones here. So you start from the middle, you go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. And you're going to torque those all to 22 foot-pounds. After you torque those to 22 foot-pounds, you got to put your ratchet about 90 degrees and you torque it another 90 degrees. So that's a torque to yield bolt. So you're going to have it straight out, you twist it 90 degrees, and you do that again in your sequence. After you do that, you do it one more time. So you're going to do one at 22 foot-pounds, 190 degrees, and then one more 90 degrees. It says 70 degrees, so a little bit less than 90. Once you're done torquing your big bolts, you got to go back to these little ones here, and you just start from the middle. You go 1 2 3 4 5, and those ones just go to 22 foot-pounds, and you call it a day. So I'm going to do this here in sequence. I'll put a picture up on the screen to show you guys what it is, and you guys can watch me do it. Alright guys, so we did all of them at 22 foot-pounds in our sequence. So our next step is to get a bigger breaker bar, and like I said, you put it straight out and you got to spin it 90 degrees. So I'm probably gonna have to move the camera out of the way here because I use my big breaker bar for this, but I'll show you guys how it's done. Two. Alright, so that was pass number 1. So now we got to do one more pass at 70 degrees, it says. So In essence, what we got to do is from straight out, we got to go turn a little bit less than 90 degrees, and she should be done with the big bolts. Alright guys, so perfect. So now we just got to go back and torque these little bolts. It says 22 foot-pounds. I'm just going to hand tighten them because 22 foot-pounds tend to just snug. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alright guys, so they're all tight. It's torqued. It should be good to go. So now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side head. I got to clean this side of the block still, and I'm going to torque it, put it on, and we'll continue forward from there. Alright guys, so it's probably getting too dark out here for you guys to see. I can still see what I'm doing. I'm going to continue on the other side. I got to put the manifold, the valve cover on, you know, all the rockers and stuff inside of it first. And once I get there, I'll probably just put the intake on too. Probably not much more recording. If you've seen my last video, you know how to take everything apart. You can just put it back together the same way. It's pretty basic, so I'm going to keep on going here. I want to get this thing done tonight, and we'll see if we can keep on going. Good morning, YouTube. So I failed miserably yesterday at putting this thing back together in 2 days. It was a goal of doing it in one and a half days, but it didn't happen yesterday. But as you can see, most of it's together. It got real dark on me. I couldn't see anything, and the wife was waiting outside, and you know how that goes. So I gotta still put the alternator on. We got to get the rest of our coil packs on, put our spark plug wires back on, and I got to put this dipstick tube back in that I took out. and we got our EGR system. But other than that, she's pretty much a wrap. So you guys, this is why you always do a double check before you start the vehicle up. I had already put the intake tube on, and I just seen right now the belt's not on there. So if I would have fired that thing up, it would have probably chewed up that belt, you know, spit it out somewhere. But we're gonna put that belt on, and she should be good to fire up. Alright guys, so there she is. She's all put back together. Got the keys. Let's give her a go. Alright, so you guys ready? Let's fire it up. Well, damn. Would you just look at that? Would you look at that? She looks good. Got good oil pressure. Voltmeter's working. And we're gonna wait for it to get up to temperature, and we'll check her out. Woo! Look at that smoke. So guys, when you do a head gasket, you're still initially gonna have some smoke. Sometimes it takes a couple days even to clear out the exhaust, because there was coolant pouring down the exhaust. So sometimes it puddles up inside the muffler or inside the pipe somewhere, you know, where there's a sharp bend. So we're probably still gonna have a lot of smoke for maybe a day or so. Usually what I do is I run and I take them and I drive them on the freeway. So let's get out and see how this engine's running. Well guys, look at that. She's running perfect. She purrs like a kitten. Like I said, there's still gonna be some smoke. Don't be scared of that. See, she's still smoking and puffing out the exhaust a little bit. But once we drive her for a little bit, I'm pretty sure she's gonna clean up. She's running really good. Looks like I'm still a little bit low on coolant, so I'm not gonna let her warm up right now. I gotta go to the parts store and get some more coolant. But other than that, maybe an oil change. I gotta probably change the oil after you do this because some coolant does get down in the oil. So other than that, she looks good. So I was just gonna hop in there and start it up. Then I remembered we had that little wire on the ignition, so she has a remote start. It took me a little while, but I figured out how to use it. So you just gotta hold the top two buttons, the lock and unlock, for like 3 seconds. And listen to her. Oh yeah, she works. So she's all topped off. She's running real good, real smooth. I don't hear no ticks, no knocks, anything like that. She revs right up. So I topped her off finally, so she's all full on coolant. Check the oil's good. So guys, I think it's time for her test drive. What do you say? Let's do it. She doesn't have any leaks underneath. So only thing is, she is still smoking quite a bit. So I want to take her on a quick highway run, see if we can get most of this stuff to clear out of the exhaust, and we'll be ready to drive this truck. Well, son of a bitch. I think we've got another problem, guys. I'll show you here in a sec. So she seems to be driving just fine. And then she goes to hit third gear. No third gear. I don't know. I'm gonna take her back to the shop here real quick and see if maybe she's just low on tranny fluid or something, but I think we might have a bad transmission as well. Let's go see it. Well guys, check it out. No smoke. She's running right now. Look at that. Nice and clear. Runs like a dream. At least the motor does. So, have you guys seen in the video, I took it on a little bit of a drive right now. She gets first and second gear and half a third gear somewhat, but she's got no fourth gear, so I wasn't able to go on the freeway. I cruised it around town for about 10-15 minutes, and she'll go under 45 miles an hour, but anything above that, she has no gears. So guess what? We're gonna be doing a transmission in this thing now. So fixed one problem and on to the next. Sometimes that's the way it goes with these auction cars, but you know what? We're gonna get it done. It's at the end of the day, it's still gonna be profit. So shit happens, but remember, stay up and hustle hard.